Do you know the deadliest tsunami in history? It was the 2004 Indian Ocean tsunami. This tsunami struck four countries, including Indonesia, Sri Lanka, India, and Thailand, just in one day, the morning after Christmas on December 26, 2004. It was a beautiful day, and millions of people were enjoying their holiday, including lots of tourists. Families were relaxing on the beach. Children were playing in the sand. No one knew that in just a few minutes, one of the worst natural disasters in history would begin, and nearly 250,000 people would lose their lives. Let's get into the story, but first, our word of the day. Our word of the day is tsunami. A tsunami is very large ocean waves. It usually happens after a strong earthquake under the sea. The earthquake moves the ocean water, creating powerful waves that travel across the ocean. When the waves reach land, they can cause severe flooding and destroy buildings, roads, and homes. Have you ever experienced a tsunami? The disaster began with a powerful earthquake deep under the Indian Ocean. The earthquake suddenly lifted part of the ocean floor, pushing a huge amount of water upward. This created a series of giant ocean waves. The waves traveled across the ocean at incredible speed. As they reached the coast, they became taller and more powerful. But people in many of the countries along the coast never felt the earthquake and had no idea what was coming. Then, people on the beaches began noticing something strange. The ocean started moving away from the shore, slowly at first, then further and further. Soon, the seabed was exposed. Fish flopped on the wet sand. Boats were left sitting on dry ground. People were confused. Some walked towards the water to get a closer look. Others stopped to take pictures. They didn't realize they were looking at one of the clearest warning signs of a tsunami. On one of the beaches, the Mai Khao beach in Thailand, a 10-year-old British girl named Tilly Smith noticed something was wrong. Just 2 weeks earlier, she had learned about tsunamis in her geography class. When Tilly saw the water disappearing, she ran to her parents to share what she was thinking. At first, her parents weren't sure she was right. There wasn't a giant wave yet. Everything still looked calm, but Tilly insisted. Her father told the hotel staff and security guards. They quickly evacuated everyone from the beach and moved people to higher ground. Only minutes later, the tsunami arrived. A massive wave of water crashed onto the shore, destroying everything in its path. Because people were evacuated in time, Mai Khao Beach became one of the very few beaches in Thailand where no one died. Hundreds of lives were saved on this beach due to Tilly's knowledge. Many other places were not so lucky. The tsunami struck Indonesia first before racing across the Indian Ocean towards Sri Lanka, India, Thailand, Maldives, Myanmar, Malaysia, and many other countries. The giant waves crashed onto the land with incredible force, flooding towns and villages in just minutes. Entire neighborhoods disappeared beneath the water. Homes, hotels, schools, roads, and bridges were destroyed. Cars, boats, and trees were swept away. People ran for their lives as the powerful waves continued moving inland. Some people climbed trees, rooftops, or held onto floating objects to survive. But for many, there was no time to escape. Many families were separated in the chaos and never found their loved ones again. The aftermath of the tsunami was devastating. Many towns and villages were destroyed. Roads, hospitals, and schools were damaged or completely gone. Thousands of people died, and many more were missing or seriously injured. Clean water became very hard to find because supplies were contaminated. Many people had to leave their homes and live in temporary shelters. Food and medical help were urgently needed. It took a long time for communities to recover, and many families were never the same again. But there were also incredible stories of survival. Let's talk about the incredible survival stories of the Bellon family, Rotatol, and Martunis. The Bellon family was on vacation at a beach resort in Thailand when the tsunami struck. In just a few moments, the huge waves separated the family. Maria, the mother, was swept away with her oldest son, Lucas, while her husband, Enrique, was carried away with their two young sons, Tomas and Simon. Maria was badly injured and almost died, but she and Lucas were rescued and taken to a hospital. Meanwhile, Enrique searched everywhere for his wife and oldest son, not knowing if they were still alive. After a long and emotional search, the family was finally reunited at the hospital. All 5 members of the Bellon family survived the tsunami, even though thousands of other people lost their lives. Their incredible true story later inspired the movie The Impossible. Martunis was only 7 years old when the tsunami hit his home in Indonesia. He was playing soccer near the beach when the massive waves rushed inland. He was swept away and separated from his family. His mother and 2 sisters died in the disaster, but Martunis survived. For almost 3 weeks, he lived alone. Eventually, he was rescued by aid workers while still wearing the Portuguese soccer jersey he had on when the tsunami struck. His story quickly spread around the world. The story eventually reached Portuguese soccer star Cristiano Ronaldo. Ronaldo later met Martunis and supported him. Years later, Martunis achieved part of his dream by joining a youth soccer club, the same club where Ronaldo began his career. Rotatol Jana was only 4 years old when the tsunami hit her hometown in Indonesia. He was at home with her family when huge waves suddenly flooded their village. In the chaos, Rotatol was separated from her parents and swept away. Her parents survived, but they lost both Rotatol and her older brother. They searched for them but found no signs, and after some time, they believed their children had died in the disaster. Years passed. Almost 10 years later, a relative of Rotatol's mother saw a teenage girl who looked very familiar. After asking questions, they discovered she had been lost in the tsunami and raised by another family. It was Rotatol. She had survived the tsunami. She was rescued by local fishermen after the waves swept her away far from her home. The fishermen took her in and raised her like family in a different village. She had no memory of her biological family. Rotatol finally reunited with her biological parents after many years apart. The 2004 Indian Ocean tsunami changed the world forever. Today, many countries around the Indian Ocean have tsunami warning systems. These systems can detect a tsunami and warn people before the waves arrive. The disaster also taught millions of people an important lesson. If you feel a strong earthquake or if the ocean suddenly pulls back from the shore, do not stop to watch. Run to a higher ground immediately. That simple decision could save your life. Now it's your turn to practice your English and answer the questions below. Where do you live? What natural disasters can happen there? Have you ever experienced one? Have you ever been in a dangerous situation? What happened? And how did you survive? Which survivor story touched you the most? Why? What was the most important lesson you learned from this story? Can you retell the story in your own words? Hi, my name is Frida. I love helping English learners practice their English. If you'd like to practice with me, you can find me on Hello Talk and Tandem at Fina Ama. I'm also learning French, so if you speak French, let's practice together on Tandem or Hello Talk. Please like and subscribe, and thank you for watching. See you next Tuesday for the next video.